One of the most annoying questions that any writer can be asked is, where do you get your inspiration from? I don't know any successful professional writers who feel that they get inspired. Inspiration isn't something that exists out in the world that somehow drops onto people and gives them a brilliant idea, which then is pre-formed and pre-shaped and allows them to write a brilliant script. Inspiration is something that you have to go out there and get for yourself. You have to look for the subjects, look for the characters, look for the story events. You have to be watching TV and reading books, watching the news, reading newspapers, listening to your friends' anecdotes, watching people in the street. All these things are what you might call inspiration, and none of them, not one, will be a fully formed story idea. What you do as a writer is you take these stimuli and you turn them into script ideas. And that is the difference between what real inspiration is and this fictional idea of inspiration like some kind of magical muse. Take stimuli from the real world and use them, shape them, turn those into ideas that you develop, ideas you explore, you move forward with. You look for other stimuli that might enhance the idea. If you sit around waiting for inspiration, it isn't going to come. Think more about perspiration than inspiration. Work at it. Get out there. Watch movies, read books, watch TV, talk to people about your ideas. Use all that as your inspiration. But there's one other key element. The other thing, I suppose, is your ambition. One, rather like with the interview sequences in Line of Duty, there comes a point where you think it's 10 minutes long, might as well be 20. And then you think, because let's go for it, let's make it a significant artistic statement. And that was pushing back against that idea of the gratuitous, casual 5-minute sequence of the hero rescuing someone from a burning building. It was, well, if it is 10 minutes, then it's got to carry more weight, or it is still actually just twice the length, but someone being rescued from a burning building.
The person shown in image 19 identified as Lee Banks, a known criminal with a history of violent offences and a long-standing association with an organised crime group. How do you know Banks?
I have never met Lee Banks before today. He gained entry to my home by false pretences.
Let me tell you what I really think inspiration is. Inspiration is Roger Federer thinking, I know what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to hit the ball right into the corner of the tee and serve out an ace. Well, Roger Federer can do that. The rest of us who play tennis do that maybe 1 in 10, 1 in 20 times. The fact is, he's really worked at it. He knows how to throw the ball up. He knows how to bring his racket through it. He shapes his body. He drives it down that center line so that the ball just catches the corner of the tee and hits the backboard before the receiver has even had a chance to get his racket on it. That is nothing to do with inspiration. That is about perspiration. And he's worked hard at it. So when you are inspired by an idea, you are not even one step of the way towards achieving your goal. You have maybe half a step, just an idea of where you're going. The rest of the journey is all about creative labor. That idea of the pocketbook, you know, that she could make a note or something. Because writers are made, not born, it means that you can learn this. You can learn the craft of turning your inspiration into good writing. So if you look at Roger Federer and think, there's absolutely no way I could play tennis that well, hey, guess what? You're right. But if you look at great TV and you think there's no way that I could achieve that, you are wrong. This inspiration that comes from listening to writers talking about writing will take you to a point where you have enough tools that if you work hard, you will be able to write great TV.
P.S. Cafferty, do you see the person who recruited you?
So perspiration and ambition are interlinked. One feeds off the other, and the end product is inspiration. I was a kid growing up in a small town watching TV. I never for a moment thought that I could be involved in making television. But I was inspired by the people around me. I worked hard. I listened to their advice. I applied myself to the task. And over the years, I've developed that craft to the point where I am fortunate and privileged to have success as a television writer. None of these things are beyond your grasp. If you follow the advice of learning about writing, if you work on your craft, if you apply yourself, and if you keep at it, keep writing, one day you will have the success that I am fortunate to have.